You're simply the best.
Yes, he is. He is the best. He is Stuart Varney of Fox Business Channel, of course, host of Varney and Company, seen every day, weekday, from 9 till noon now. How's the new time slot working out for you, Stuart?
Wait a second. We moved to the new time slot on Monday, June the 1st.
Oh, all right. Thank you for correcting me. I thought it had happened last week. So it's June 1st. So you're ramping up. You got to fill 3 hours now.
Yeah, fill 3 hours? I don't like the way you put that. The news is bursting out all over, Larry, and we're going to cover it.
It just means you get a greater opportunity to go into depth.
I'm sure that there are a lot of things that are left on the table right now at Varney and Company, so I'm looking forward to seeing the extended time there. Thank goodness for that. Hopefully that's not going to infringe on your constant appearances here on Mornings on the Mall.
Yes, I will be there whenever asked.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Listen, Stuart, we're very happy to have you here because, you speak European and we don't. And we're not understanding why this whole FIFA thing is such a big... Well, Brian's in the world of soccer. I pay attention to soccer every 4 years if the U.S. team is doing well at the World Cup. That's my entire understanding of it. So why should Americans care about this scandal at FIFA, whatever they call it?
The first and foremost reason, in my opinion, is that the World Cup in 2022 is supposed to be held in Qatar.
Right.
In the middle of the desert, for heaven's sake. This was a wildly unpopular decision, and it looks like it was the result of bribery, bribing voters to vote for Qatar as the venue for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a huge investigation going on into that and the awarding of that contract to Qatar. If that contract is removed, taken away from Qatar, it's highly likely, in my opinion, that America will get the World Cup in 2022.
Oh.
That's the interest, I think, on the part of Americans, because the World Cup is as big, if not bigger, than the Olympics. And to bring it to America is a huge moneymaker.
Right.
And I think it's in America's interest to push this investigation into the World Soccer Organization and get that World Cup to come to America. I'd love to see it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious, though, because I saw something yesterday that suggested that they would not change the venues. This would have no impact on it.
Well, that's what FIFA, that's the governing body of soccer, that's what they said as this scandal broke yesterday morning. There was a very defensive reaction. Oh, no, we're not going to change the venues.
Right.
And Russia's Putin, who is due to get the cup in 2018,
right,
he says, don't you touch this thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the knee-jerk reaction when these two venues are threatened. But as this investigation proceeds, and we've only touched the tip of the iceberg so far, I got a buck says that contest will be taken away from Qatar in 2022.
I get all that, and I hear what you're saying, and I think, though, the reaction of a lot of Americans when they heard about this was, this is what our Justice Department needs to focus on right now. There's so much going on right there that needs investigating. Why are they spending so much time on something that is, many people look at as, a sort of a foreign organization?
Yeah, fair point. But it is, no question, it is the Americans, the FBI and the Justice Department, which are leading the charge to clean up soccer. It's a very interesting and good subject for the new Attorney General. I mean, it's a foreign corrupt organization. Go after them because they're using American banks to move the money around.
Yeah, well, I got a referee I want the Justice Department to investigate from last weekend's soccer game.
What happened?
Oh, no, I'm not getting into it because I got shushed. But I'm telling you,
it's a girls' league in Montgomery County.
Right.
He doesn't play in it; it's his daughter. I just wanted to make sure that nobody misunderstood that.
This is a case of TMI.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, Stuart.
Let my personal interest get involved.
I'm not surprised that FIFA said we're not going to change our decision to Qatar. It's like a guy who is accused of robbing a bank saying, "Well, I'm not giving the money back." Right? I mean, it sort of makes sense. But they're losing sponsors.
I was a soccer fan when I was a kid, and I've reintroduced my interest in soccer these days recently because I can watch British and European soccer on satellite TV very, very easily, and I do. But this is the world's number one sport. It is in absolute turmoil, and in fact, the governing body, FIFA, has just blown up, and this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is, and we are going to focus on that as well. If I may, Stuart, listen, we've got how many more presidential candidates jumped in yesterday? We had Santorum. We had John Kasich, who was the former budget director under the first Bush administration, and then he was the chairman of the budget committee in Congress, now the governor of Ohio. He's a big money guy. Are you concerned that not enough conversation is happening within the Republican Party about pro-growth initiatives, lower taxer issues, budgetary issues? It all seems to be about ISIS, and it seems to be about a lot of family values discussions.
Yeah, very much so. I had Senator Rand Paul on my show 2 days ago, and the conversation veered off towards NSA domestic spying and moves to restrict that domestic spying. Okay, fair enough. But he also came out with his tax plan, which is reduce the top tax rate on personal income to below 20%.
Wow.
He wants the tax rate to somewhere around 17%.
Wait,
it's 43% now.
And didn't
Bernie Sanders wants 90%.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Bernie Sanders said 90% yesterday. Well, that's a nice conversation for the American people to have.
Yeah,
Do you want the Democrats?
It should be.
Yeah.
I mean, what we should be talking about is a return to prosperity. How do we get there? Prosperity is the glue that binds us all together. To go off on a tangent about the war on women, for example, is to miss the whole point of the forthcoming election. America must return to prosperity. And in my opinion, the way you do that is you cut taxes for corporations and you cut taxes for individuals and you cut government spending. You do that, and I'll give you 4, 5, 6% growth, and we'll all be a lot happier.
Finally, Stuart, people who listen to you speak, I love your accent, and I have heard it said that if you have a British accent, that the one thing that just grates on your nerves, that just drives you a little crazy, and tell me if this is true, is when you hear somebody do a fake British accent.
Well, it doesn't grind on my nerves. I just find it kind of funny.
Yeah, okay. Well, can you then imagine how people from the South feel when they heard Hillary Clinton yesterday sounding like she just, got off the truck?
I've been coloring my hair for years.
I've been coloring my hair for years.
Let me try that. I've been coloring my hair for years. How's that?
I still hear a little.
Yeah, it's a little. It's maybe South London. But although no, actually, Stuart, that's not true. You are very good at this. If you remember a highlight from Mornings on the Mall, listen.
Get her done.
Yeah, see, you've got it.
That's 3 words.
All right. Well, this is a fascinating thing about American politics, though, where as some of the politicians, Hillary Clinton in particular, it appears, whenever they go down to the South and they start campaigning, they start to take on the way people speak.
The G's disappear from the other ing words. And
does that work, Stuart? Does that really make a difference, do you think?
I don't think so.
No.
It
makes them look
see
disingenuous.
through it a mile off, can't you?
Yeah. Really
what would happen if a Southern politician went up to Minnesota and tried to do that? That would be a success, now would it?
Don't you know? All right, Stuart. Oh, and finally, you mentioned Bernie Sanders. Do you have really quickly, do you have a response to his suggestion that we don't need 23 choices in deodorants, that's the problem with America's economy?
Yeah, LOL. Laugh out loud. I could be more extreme than that, but I won't because I'm on the radio.
Stuart, always great to have you, and congratulations on the new time slot and the expanded hours, and we can't wait to see the new Varney and Company starting June 1st, 9 a.m.
Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Stuart.